Ismail, the game director on the just announced Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
I had a feeling we'd be seeing another Assassin's Creed game. I did not expect it would actually have a number in the title. This is a new adventure, a new character. It's not Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. What was the thinking to do something so entirely new for the next game?
From way back in conception of this game, we really wanted to focus on the Kenway family saga. So where AC2, with AC2 we started the Ezio trilogy, we wanted to change things up and we decided to go with the Kenway saga. And Edward, being the father of Hytham and the grandfather of Connor, he is the character that brings the Kenway family into the Assassin-Templar feud. And we wanted to tell his version of the story. And because of the timing, it happens in the 18th century Caribbean, so this allows us to play with the pirate theme. So it really had a lot of potential, and so we did go for a brand new experience. So AC4, and the reason it's 4, it's not just that it's a new setting or a new hero, it's that the experience is really drastically different. It is a really new, refreshing, different AC than previous ACs.
Before we get to the pirates part, which is the fun part, I was also curious. Let's deal with the chronology, because obviously 1776 type times was Assassin's Creed 3. This is actually taking place before the events of Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah. So the game starts in 1715 with Edward. Edward being a British man who's a sailor who gets lured into the life of piracy because of its glory and riches and fortune. He's a very charismatic fellow who's charming, but also a bit selfish and reckless because of his poor upbringing. Because of all this, he does become a pirate, and we meet him at this stage, 1715, and that's where the story really kicks off, and he meets assassins, and the story really progresses from there.
So let's get to pirates. It's a little bit challenging because obviously pirates have been so romanticized, you know, but there's no reason with Johnny Depp. I mean, there's this whole concept, but it sounds like you guys are really trying to do a proper historical representation of what pirates are. What are they like? I mean, there really was a man named Blackbeard.
Yeah, so when we started delving deep into the history of the figures, the events that happened, we found that there was a lot of depth there. There was a really important part of history that happened here with really over-the-top characters. So Blackbeard being arguably the most famous pirate that existed, this was a man who actually created a persona called Blackbeard. And it was something he did actively to avoid murdering people and killing people. He actually abhorred it. And so this element of the persona and then the man behind the persona, we wanted to tell this because it's really interesting, it's really character driven, and there is a grittiness and a reality to it that we felt is missing in mainstream media. As you said, pirates have been quite romanticized, and we feel that there is this incredible opportunity to tell this incredible reality of pirates. And this is what we strive to do. We're really telling, you know, the kind of HBO version of pirates as opposed to the Disney-fied version of it.
Now the gameplay sounds like it has drastically changed. I mean, the Assassin's Creed games, for all intents and purposes, were open-world games. But this seems, well, this is like open ocean game. I mean, there's a lot of naval aspects to it and how you sort of traverse the Caribbean. If you could just go into some detail of how we're going to be playing something different than all the other AC games.
Yeah, so this is the first true, the way we look at it is the first true naval open world game. And what that means is the world that we've created, it's a very different world than previous ACs. We still have the major cities, so we have 3 major cities. But the way they're structured, the way they're put in the world, it's not at all the same as previous ACs. It's really more about this big Caribbean world that has many locations. There's 50 unique locations in the world with the sea, and the sea has tons of activities in it. And so it's really more about traversing and exploring this world instead of spending, you know, an hour or 2 in one city and then moving on to the next city. So the way you consume the content, the way you progress through this world is very different, it's drastically different. The pure mechanics of being an assassin, these are things that will be comfortable for players. So players will pick this game up and feel, yes, this is an Assassin's Creed game. But the way it's wrapped, the depth of the naval system, the depth of the new pirate mechanics and the new abilities from Edward, this is all really refreshing stuff that should give a brand new experience to players.
Now, sort of the core experience of Assassin's Creed from all the previous games, being on land, you know, hunting someone down. That's still there. There's just also Boats.
Exactly. We talk about naval a lot, but it's not to say that the ground element is lessened at all. It's there and it's prominent. I would even say that the breakdown between in the main path, 60 land, 40 naval. So there is a lot of ground stuff. You are an assassin. At the end of the day, you are taking out targets and going after specific characters in the world. But what we've pushed for is having the land and the naval elements are seamless. This is one unified world. It's not a sea game and then I load into ground maps. It's really one world. I can jump off my ship at any time, swim up to a beach and chase after a guy. Or vice versa, I could be chasing a guy on land, he jumps into a ship, I jump into my jackdaw and chase after him into the naval, and then I can destroy his ship or board his ship and assassinate him. We're really pushing the intuitiveness of this transition and the gameplay between these two mediums to really brand new levels, levels that are exciting for us to develop and hopefully exciting for fans to try and play.
Because you can go to these different unique locations, and this wasn't a terribly industrialized part of the world at the time. It really it's not now either. How does the nature kind of work into it in terms of your traversal methods and I guess the animal life? I mean, there's sharks in the water. And I don't know what's on land, but it's probably mean and will try to eat me. I mean, how does that aspect kind of work into the game?
So we do have many different locations in the Caribbean world. Many of them some are man-made and some are natural. And this is where we built on the strength from AC3. AC3 developed the frontier. Because of this, we're able to create new environments that are more natural. For example, jungles. Jungles are these really dense, claustrophobic environments that are lush and beautiful, but also very dangerous. There's new enemies in these environments. I'll let your imagination go wild with who these enemies are, but...
It's talking trees, I know it.
Jeez, you read the design. So these environments, because of AC3 and what AC3 pushed, we are able to develop really drastically different environments. We have Mayan ruins that are more man-made locations, so these provide navigation puzzles and that type of thing, but the jungles provide something very different. There is some element of tree navigating and using the environment itself, but what you do in these locations is drastically different. As I said, the jungles, there are predators, there are tough enemies, and so you have to use your navigation skill and your stealth skills to be able to survive this environment.
All right, so Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, what are the systems that it's coming to?
So we are confirmed on Xbox 360, PS3, Wii U, PC, and PS4.
All right, well, it's running the whole gamut. I can't wait to see more. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.